coming and checking us out as well. We so appreciate you being here. So, how is everyone doing this morning? Are we good? Are we good? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Thank you so much for those hearts. And yes, whether you are here on the replay or whether you are here live on Periscope, don't forget those hearts work. So if I'm sharing something, thank you so much. If I'm sharing something that is providing you with some useful content, something that you can appreciate, just tap on that screen. That just lets me know that you're here and that I'm providing you with some useful content. Good morning. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about some different things that you can do in your direct sales business. Now, just in case we have anybody here who perhaps has no idea who I am, okay? Good morning from Australia. Wonderful. So for those of you who have no idea who I am, my name is Buffy Hood, and I'm a jeweler with Premier Designs Jewelry here in the United States. And I've been with them for over 9.5 years. So needless to say, I like to use Periscope as simply a way to be able to share my experiences, some of the different things that I do in my business, in hopes that perhaps it can help you in yours. So for those of you who are joining us here, I am married, and if you're here for the business purpose, please feel free to stay. Otherwise, I'm not interested in any other kind of conversation. Thank you. All right. So anyway, as we get back to our topic at hand. So I wanted to share, yesterday we talked a little bit about how we can, we're just going to go ahead and do that. We're just going to be done with that. I'm not the one being rude trying to hijack somebody else's scope, right? Am I right? So anyway, yesterday we talked about, thanks everyone. We talked about how many times we are so focused on just constantly thinking about working, but we don't actually go work. We don't actually go do things. Many times we go to trainings, we hear new things and we hear new ideas and we go, hey, that sounds like a great idea. But then we go home and we never do anything any different. So today we're going to talk about kind of some of those things that you can do that it's going to make a huge difference in your business. Okay. So now some of you might be going, you know what? I'm not really sure if I know what to be doing. Okay. Is there anybody out there who just is not real sure what they should be doing in their business? Maybe you've had so many ideas over the years, you don't even know where to start. Is there anyone out there today who's feeling that way? If so, put a 1 in the box, put a me in the box, whatever it is that you want to put. If you are feeling overwhelmed by all the different things that you've heard over the years and you don't even know where to start, okay? So here's the thing. There's a couple of different things that you can do, okay? The first is kind of just go through the notebooks that you might have from those trainings and that sort of thing. Go through the different trainings that you've heard and pick one idea, just one, okay? It can be it doesn't have to be necessarily geared toward a specific thing. However, I will say, if as an example, let's say if your calendar is not where you would like it to be, put a 1 in the box. If your business calendar, as in shows for your direct sales business, is not where you'd like it to be, put a 1 in the box. Okay. All right. So if your bookings are not where you want them to be, then the first idea you're going to want to work on is anything that is related to more bookings. Now, if you're currently not having many shows, then you're going to want to look at those ideas that suggest ways to get shows outside of shows. Does that make sense? Okay. Because if the only ideas that you've ever heard or ever have are ideas on how to get shows when you're at a show, well, if you don't have a show on your calendar, how on earth are you ever going to get a show there? Does that make sense? I hope y'all are following me this morning. So, as an example, when I first came in the business, I didn't really have an opportunity to do trainings and that kind of thing. There wasn't really many online trainings at that point. There were a few, but not like there are now. Okay. And I also didn't have an upline who was local to me. So I didn't even have trainings that I could go to at that point in time when I first started. So I did a lot of researching on my own. But one of the other things that I did was I got this book. And y'all, I promise I get no cut off this book whatsoever. But if you've been following me for any length of time, chances are you've probably heard me talk about this book before. But I'm going to show it to you. This is called Where and How to Find More Customers When You Run Out of Family and Friends. And this is by Christy Northrup. Okay. You can find these on Amazon, on eBay, things like that. And I can tell you that literally what I did when I first started was I just opened up to a random page and I would say, okay, it looks like today I'm going to be looking at, as an example, it looks like this one here was talking about mobile billboards. So basically how you can use your car as a billboard for your business. Or I might open up to this page, okay? And I would just look at the very first idea on those two pages, okay? And if it kind of filtered over from the page before, then I might flip back to be able to get the full thing. But as an example, this one was badges, okay? So this is anytime that you go outside of your home, wear a name badge that says what you do. Because here's the thing. First off, you might sit there and say, well, you know what? It's going to be mighty silly of me to be wearing my name badge when I'm just going to the grocery store. Well, here's the thing. Nobody at that grocery store has any idea where you just came from or where you're heading to. They don't know. You might have just come from a business meeting. So, but here's the thing. People read name badges because just as humans, we are curious. Okay. So we will always read someone's name badge. If you happen to have a name badge on and it says your name and what you do, you don't have to worry about how are you going to put out there to somebody what you do. It says it right there. And they might even question and go, oh, hey, so you're with such and such company? Or they, as an example, me being a jewelry lady, my badge is what is called a bling badge. Okay. It's a black and white badge, but then it has crystals all the way around it. And it says my name and it says the jewelry lady. Okay. So here's the thing. So if I'm wearing that, first off, that bling is going to catch people's attention and then they're going to read it. And when they read it and go, oh, jewelry lady, well, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Because they start seeing all the other jewelry and that kind of thing. But it can help open up conversations with people. That can be a great way to get somebody new on your calendar that is completely outside of the circle you already currently have. Okay. So again, a book like this, and that is Where and How to Find Customers or More Customers When You've Run Out of Family and Friends by Christy Northrup. Okay. Listen, you do that, you get that book and you do that, and chances are you're going to be able to come up with lots of ideas because these are all ways to get your name out there. This is not what to do at a presentation. And if all you're currently learning is what to do at a show, yes, it would make a great gift for baby jewelers for Christmas. It absolutely would. And here's the thing. As an example, we are down. We at one point did have about 3 of these. We're down to just this one. So this one we have in our library, our Jewels of Hope library, if you will, that our jewelers have an opportunity to check this book out and then be able to use it for up to about a month. And then they're to bring it back at the next training. And then this way, that allows them an opportunity to see it, to be able to, really get a feel for it. And they might find at that point, you know what, I just need to give this back and just get one of my own because I want to mark it up. I want to do all kinds of things. All right. So that is it's a great little tool. Okay. Now, maybe you're looking for things that are more in the lines of sponsoring. Maybe your sponsoring is not where you want it to be. Well, then you're going to want to focus on all those ideas that you've heard over the years that might help with sponsoring. Again, if you're not having the shows to be able to get in front of people to meet for potential sponsoring, then you might have to think outside of the box a little bit. You might have to look at ideas that you might have heard in training that are more about lifestyling and ways to meet people where you can share your business opportunity. One example is, first off, some of you may have already heard this story before, and if you have, I apologize if it's too repetitive for you. But for those of you who perhaps have never heard this story, as an example, I went into an Applebee's and I happened to notice the waitress there just had phenomenal customer service skills. And I wound up stopping her at one point and said, when you have a moment, could I have just a couple minutes of your time? And she said, sure, no problem. And so she went and she did what she needed to do. And she came back over and she said, how can I help you? And I said, well, I just needed to share with you that you have phenomenal customer service skills. And I just can't help but think that you would be great at doing what I do. Well, what do you think the first question was that she asked? Well, what do you do? Okay. So I was then able to share what it is that I do. And it just so happened that she was also quite the little fashionista, wearing some costume jewelry and things like that. So I could tell that she had a love for fashion already. But here's the thing, that does not need to be a prerequisite of anyone coming into the jewelry business, is whether or not they wear jewelry, or even in terms of being a little fashionista, because that would not have described me in either way when I first came into Premier and when that was introduced to me. Okay, so that is not something that has to be a prerequisite. But here's the thing, what is whether or not they are friendly, whether or not they seem like somebody you would want to work with, whether or not they just have that kind of charisma about them, or just that sweet soul that you just can't help but think, you know what, you would be great at doing what I do. Go tell them. Okay. So don't hold that back and just keep looking at them going, oh man, she would be so good at doing my business. She would be so good at this. She'd be so good at this. And then you don't say a word. Look, go tell her. Worst case scenario, you get a chance to give her a compliment. Okay. But here's the biggest thing. Look at the areas of your business where you feel you need the most assistance. Okay. Where you're looking at going, this area of my business might be okay, but this area I really seem to be struggling in. Focus on that one area first. Okay. You're going to focus on that one area. You're going to look at a couple of trainings. You're going to talk to your upline. You're going to find books like this. Okay. You're going to research some different things. And you are going to pick just one idea that you can do today. Okay. And do it. And then guess what? Tomorrow, do it again. And then the next day, do it again. And you're going to keep doing this, because here's the thing. Many times, it's not so much that people try something and it doesn't work. It's that they don't try it enough times to become good at it to where they can be successful with that particular thing. All right. Does that make sense to y'all? Would you agree with that? Because I've seen so many times where people will try something one time and they'll go, oh, that just didn't work for me. That just didn't work for me. Did you see how that person responded? That just didn't work for me. I'm never going to do that again. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes it has a lot to do with our attitude of when we're doing certain things that can also determine whether or not that is successful for us. If we are going into that action being extremely nervous and being just a balled up like thing of energy that is about ready to explode because we're just so stinking nervous, and we try it that one time and it doesn't work, and we're so quick to go, oh, never doing that again. Okay. Then here's the thing. You're never going to have an opportunity to get good at it to where you could be confident doing it. And if you had been confident doing that particular task, chances are it probably would have worked for you. But you don't get confident without doing the action. We talked about that yesterday. So you might have to take those ideas and do them several times and several times. You might even want to practice it to yourself at home first. Of if this person says thank you to, or says, I always get confused with that. If this person, because I always say, how so often we're so quick that when somebody pays us a compliment, we just say thank you and walk away. Okay. But here's the thing, you don't want to do that. When someone compliments me on my necklace, I don't say thank you and walk away. I say, thanks so much. This is from the Premier Designs line. Are you at all familiar with them? And in most situations, they're going to say no. And when they say no, that's when I go, oh my goodness, I would love to introduce you. Do you know that I get paid to give stuff like this away for free? Is that something you'd be interested in hearing about? Many times, and I'm telling you, it's more times than not. In fact, I don't know that I've ever actually been turned down from, them saying, oh no, I'm not interested in hearing, but I don't think I've ever had that reaction. What I have had is, well, yeah, sure, I'd love to hear that. Now, here's the funny thing. I always first assume that she wants to learn how she can get paid to give this stuff away for free. So I always start with the business opportunity and assume that's where she might be headed. If she instead goes, oh, I'm not looking to make money. I'm not looking for another job, or I'm not looking for, oh, okay, no problem. Well, would you like to be the recipient of one of these free pieces? And then that way, then I can talk about booking shows. Okay. Now, if she says, oh, I'm not interested in either, I'm not interested in making money, and I'm not interested in getting stuff for free, I just really like the necklace. Okay, well, no problem. I'd be happy to get you one of these at a discount, or in fact, I can even give you this one. And then it kind of starts with what you have to offer that is the absolute best. And for us in Premier Designs, we know that that is our business opportunity. Then the next best thing we have to offer them is being a hostess and being able to get it for free. And then lastly, the best thing we have to offer them is, of course, the gorgeous jewelry that is high quality. So, I mean, really, it's a win-win in all three scenarios for her. It's just a matter of figuring out where you can most benefit helping. I hope that makes sense to y'all. Okay. So the biggest thing is you need to choose a activity. Okay. So choose just one and do that. And listen, and I know that there may have been times where even when I was mentioning that perhaps you try something and then you go, oh, that didn't work, I'm never doing that again. If it's an idea that you heard of a long time ago and you tried it once or twice and it didn't work, consider trying it again. Okay. Because for one, you might be in a different place in your business right now than what you were then. You might be in a different place personally than what you were then, that perhaps the confidence might not be as much of an issue. All right. And it could also be that you've learned some different verbiage, some different things that you can do in general that might make that flow a little bit better and that kind of thing. So my thing is, I want you to take something that you are not currently doing in your business, because here's the thing. If you are currently doing certain things and your business is not where you want it to be, then it only makes sense that you're going to have to do something different, right? You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. That is the definition of insanity. Okay. You cannot keep doing what you're doing and expecting that your business is going to turn around. If it is not already done so, then you need to do something different. Okay. So what we're talking about is taking one idea in one area of your business that you're struggling with and trying that one thing. And I'm going to dare to say that you try that one thing 6 to 10 times before you decide whether or not this is something that would work for you. All right. Once you have tried it 6 to 10 times, if it still is not working for you, toss it out and grab a different idea. And you're just going to keep doing that until you find the things that work. As you find the things that work, you are going to continually just keep doing those things over and over and over and over again. Because if it's working, you want to keep doing it. If it's not working, you want to get rid of it. I hope, does this make sense to y'all? Y'all are being quite quiet. So I just want to make sure. And thank you for the hearts, by the way. So I would love to see you guys just reach out into some of your different trainings, some of your notes and things like that, and go, you know what? I do remember hearing about something at one point. You're driving. Okay, then yes, You just keep right on driving and don't you worry about what's happening here. You just keep right on driving and listening. We're good. Okay. But my biggest thing is I, when I first started my business, I knew two people in all of Delaware, and that was all I had to get started with my business. Because for those of you who may not know, my actual mom, okay, my mom was my sponsor. She had already been doing the business before I started, which means she had our family and friends as her customers already. I had to start with the two people that I knew in Delaware, and that was all I had. So I had got this book, and I wound up, now of course this is not my copy because my copy looks like it's it's been traumatized. Okay, so this is not my copy, but basically all I did was I would just, like I said, I would open up a random page because I truly didn't know where to start. And I felt like I had so many ideas over the course of the first couple of months coming in, that I literally tried to do every idea right off the bat. And I was like fumbling like crazy because I felt like almost every show I was literally changing the entire presentation because, and every time that I would meet somebody, I was literally saying something different every time and going, well, the last one didn't work, so let me try this. But the problem was I had never practiced any one thing long enough to get good at it. So it wasn't working for me because I didn't learn how to properly do it. I was not a master at that task. So the more that I practiced just one idea and did that one idea several times, I then had an opportunity to see that, you know what, while it may not have worked when I did it with that person and this person, and when I said it to this person, it did work when I said it to this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Does that make sense? So I really had to understand that what works well for one is not going to work well for all. But that's why it's so important that we, keep trying it and keep trying it and keep trying it before we decide whether or not it's actually going to work for us. Okay. So this week, you're going to look at your business. And in fact, I would love to see you do it today. I know today's a crazy busy day and we have election day today. And I'm telling y'all, please get out there and vote. I don't care who you're voting for, but go vote. Okay. And so what we're going to do is I'd like you to take a look at your business very quickly today and say, okay, where do I need the most help in growth? And then you select one idea, find just one idea and do that today. And then do it tomorrow, do it the next day, do it the next day, even if it's only sharing with one person each day, but that you're getting out there and that you're trying that one new thing, or perhaps that one thing that you gave up on trying more than once or twice. Okay. And be able to do that and get comfortable with it and be able to become a master at that task. And I would love to hear the difference of what's happening in your business from this week to the next week to the next week, to be able to say, you know what, hey, I tried that thing and this is what happened. Okay, so I would love to be able to hear your kind of praise reports of what happened from doing that and from getting outside of your comfort zone and really trying those new items, those new tasks. Okay, now my curiosity is setting in, so here's my question to each of you. If, as I was talking, you thought of one idea that you gave up on too quickly, or you thought of one idea that you've heard recently and you thought, hey, I got to try that, or maybe it was even something that I mentioned here today. If you know that there is one thing that you could get off this scope and do today that would be different than what you have been doing, put a 1 in the box. If you know of one thing you could try today that's going to be different than what you have been doing and you're ready to get out there and try it. Yay! I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that. Wonderful. We got several ones there. So I love that. The biggest thing in our businesses is remember that our dreams and our business will not work if we don't. So we have to find ways that allow us to work and allow us to work most efficiently. So whatever it is that you're currently doing that isn't working, get rid of it and try to do something different. Okay. But make sure that that new thing that you give it several times before you decide whether or not it works. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm going to let you guys go. Tomorrow is our Wisdom Wednesday. I hope y'all enjoyed those tips for today. But tomorrow is Wisdom Wednesday, where I will be bringing you some sort of wisdom that has been shared with me by somebody else, or that I've read or whatever, that I will be sharing with you tomorrow. And we are going to be continuing with our 9 a.m. Eastern time. So I hope that time frame is working for y'all, because I am digging it. So I'm glad that we changed it. I think this is going to be our new time from here on out. I know we said that we would probably try it for just a week or so and see how it goes, but if I'm judging on how things have gone just in the last 2 days, I'm thinking we're going to be sticking with it. So I appreciate y'all being here. If you know anybody that you think would, enjoy this message, might need to hear this message, please feel free to share this broadcast out with others. I always appreciate when you guys do that. And in the meantime, I just look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow then. So until I get to see you tomorrow, have a blessed day. Know that I will be praying for you, and get out there and vote. All right. Love y'all. See ya.